Hey everyone, it's Abby. Today I wanted to make a top for my modern wardrobe. There are times when I have a garment in my closet that I love the fit of, but I would love either more of them or a different color or fabric style. I've made quite a few things by creating a pattern from an existing piece of clothing. This particular top is a flowy stretch cotton jersey knit out of an orange and green geometric print. I wanted something a bit more in my colors and style. I went on Etsy and found a cotton jersey in a mint green with my favorite flowers all over it, lilies of the valley. It was a perfect happenstance. It turned out to be just enough fabric for this top. I got a matching tattoo in 2019 right before the pandemic hit. I wanted it for my wedding that was originally scheduled for 2020. But then the pandemic hit, and like many 2020 weddings, we ended up having a backyard wedding, and then we ended up having a party in 2021. I have some footage that I need to edit of bringing my wedding dress in. I made it before the pandemic, so I did end up having to alter it. So let's make a floral summer top. I start with figuring out what pieces of the original top I need patterns of. I lay out the top on my pattern paper, starting with the front cups. I trace the cup with pencil without seam allowance, pressing the fabric down and stretching out where there's gathers. To make the back pattern piece, I fold it in half and trace one half of the upper back piece. I indicate the fold on the new pattern. The bottom part of the top is the same front and back, so I fold it in half and trace one half of the front on the fold. I will cut two of these to create the front and the back. I fold my new fabric so I can get the width of the pattern on the fold and pin in place. I cut out with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I add a bit extra on the bottom seam to match what the original top has. I cut a second one of those on the fold off camera. I pinned the back piece on the fold, and then the front cup is pinned above that. I cut those out with seam allowance. I tend to not add that to my patterns and just cut that in as I go, but I also label my patterns, letting myself know that I didn't add seam allowance. I cut a second set of cups for lining from the scraps. I needed to piece that a bit to get it to fit. I used my rotary cutter and cut long strips of fabric for the braided bits from the long side bit that I had left over after cutting all the pieces out. I cut a whole bunch of strips to create the braiding I'll need. I'm going to need some long pieces. I sew the strips in half. This is how the original top created their braid pieces. I laid 3 strips together and I hand sew the top together to stabilize them. I start the braid. I want to make sure the seams don't show as much as possible, so I roll the fabric as I go. I pin the braid to my pincushion first to have something to pull from. This doesn't work, so then I realize I have a safety pin and I pin that into my jeans. This turns out to be the perfect way to get the tension I need to braid my pieces. I stretch a bit as I'm braiding to keep the braid tight and even. I had to sew on some extra length to get it to the length I needed, but I had just enough fabric to get this done. I think I had almost a yard for this whole project. I got all they had. Following the original top construction, I pin and machine sew bra padding to the lining of the top cups. I cut thin elastic to less than the length of the seam of the top back piece. I start off the edge on the serger and then I stretch and sew to get the elastic to gather the fabric as I go. I fold the elasticized seam over and use a straight machine stitch. I know that they say not to use a straight stitch with stretch fabric as a rule, or to stretch and sew, but I break these rules of stretch fabric a lot. You just have to be careful, that's all. You have to stretch a bit to get the straight seam to work. The key is not to stretch the fabric, just the elastic. If you stretch too much, you get a wiggly seam. But if you know how much stretch is needed, you're all good. I fold and machine sew the middle of the back piece down. This is where the braid will attach. I pin the front cup piece right sides to the back piece on the side. Then I pin the lining to the other side of the back piece, wrong side to right side. This is along the side seam. I serge along the whole side seam. If you don't have a serger, you could use the 3-step zigzag on your regular machine. I've used this a lot for my stretch garments. It's a great stable stitch. Sometimes I prefer it to the serger when the garment will have a lot of stress, like a bodysuit. I add a smaller elastic to the side top edge of the cup, stretching as I go. This will be the seam on that side as well. I add a straight stitch from my regular machine along the same seam for stability, stretching as I go. I understitch that seam with a straight machine stitch next, again stretch and sew. I folded the cup right side out, and now I'm serging the elastic on the front edge of the cup, on the inside. I fold that seam to the inside and straight stitch that down. You can see this is a nicely enclosed bodice piece now. I pin and machine sew the front seam with a straight machine stitch, 1/2 inch seam allowance, catching the front and lining layers all at once. I pinned the front to the back of the bottom part and serged the seams together on the sides. I serged the whole bottom raw edge of the flowy bottom part. I fold up the bottom a little under 1 inch and I straight machine stitch the hem of the garment. It has points, so it's pretty easy just to fold the point over and continue the hem. I measured the braid straps of the original piece and check how they did it. There's 2 braids per side, so I start with pinning the first braid down to each side of the cups, starting from the raw edge and going to the point of the top of the cup. I measure and cut where I need the strap to end. I realized that I needed to pin that or sew it first before cutting, so I had to rebraid and pin a bit of it. I use a straight machine stitch and sew along one side of the braid to attach it to the cup in front. I went back and added a second set of stitches on the other side off camera. I machine stitch the second row of braiding to the top of the cups. I pinned where the end of the braid strap will be and add a line of stitching across both braids. I use my 3-step zigzag and I attach stretched elastic to the waist of the front bodice part, stretching as I go. I pin and serge the whole waist seam together. I pin and machine stitch the braid straps to the back piece to finish the garment. And there we have it, a completed floral summer top that I'm going to have so much fun wearing in the warm weather this summer. Thank you for joining me today as I made a pattern from an old summer top, and then I made a new top from that pattern. I love doing this with garments that already fit really well because then I don't have to worry about fitting the garment to myself. I loved this quick little project that I think took about a day. It's great to have these easy little projects to focus on sometimes. If you liked this video and want to see more sewing and costume projects, remember to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Happy sewing! Hello. Hello! She's like, no. No, hello. I must only sniff and be here.